In life, we all go through our own set of challenges, and Mike Vaz is no different. From tragedy to triumph, he has changed the lives of millions. Join us on June 5th as we discuss his new book, Born Winner, The Highs and Lows of Mike Vaz. It will be a most intriguing conversation. Please join us. Tonight, I'm here with Mike Vaz, uh, author of Born Winner: The Highs and Lows of Mike Vaz. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty good.
Glad to be with you tonight. I know this is something that I've been anticipating for the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Because
you have me itching, waiting to get on
here. Your story is extraordinary. You know what I mean? And I felt like people need to hear it and to have hope, because I understand with the way that things are going on right now in the economy and the world with this whole coronavirus thing. At least there's something that where we can draw upliftment from. And this book, it's got some highs, some lows, some crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's all real, raw, rugged, all real, rugged, real life. It's a movie.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I think I read this joint probably in 2 days or something like that. Because I was drawn into it. You know what I mean?
Because you wanted to know more. It makes you, from the first page, the way I described what happened to me and then jump right back into my childhood. It's really like how a movie would start. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like one of the BET joints, yeah. Now you probably know what happened at this point. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's how I told her. I actually had a ghostwriter. So we sat down and for 9 months we met twice a week. You know what I mean? Just getting everything off my mind. I'm just spitting her everything I know, and it's all coming fluently. Like it was really a movie. I see it play out. Like I'm actually ready to write another one because I missed out on a lot of stuff. There's a lot more,
right?
And deep in the crevices. You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't really get into the street because I was in the streets, but I was not. I was raised different. You know how we was raised.
Right. Of course.
You understand? But
yeah,
I respect the streets, and it helped me be a better man in a different way. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot from it, from seeing myself on the pages. You know what I mean? After reading it, it's dope though. Like I say in the book a lot, it's dope.
Yeah. Nah, I swear, every time I was going through the pages, it's like I had an anticipation. I was like, yo, I can't put it down right now. I have to continue reading. I can't put it down right now.
And it's like basic. It's really kid friendly. It's not like too vulgar.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a grown man book.
Right.
But teenagers would love to read. And it's not a heavy, hard read. It's understandable. It's in our terms. You know what I mean? Like street, you'll be able to read it. That's all.
Right. Of course. Now, the first question that I want to ask you is, what was it like growing up in Springfield, Massachusetts?
My time, it was beautiful, man. It was a lot of good basketball. I was like all the older guys that played before me. It was nice to be able to go up to the Hubbard Park. That's one of our main parks out here. And to go to DeBerry, where we had the Ben Schoolfield tournament. I mean, and it was right now, it's crazy. Compared to when you could walk around freely, go from one side to the other side of Springfield without feeling like something might happen or you don't gotta look over your shoulder. Now, man, It's a jungle out here. But I loved growing up in Springfield. If I got away from the question, but it was dope growing up in Springfield. It was a lot of hip hop influence with the basketball, and that's how I grew up. Like my peoples had a studio. I go to the studio at school, chill with them, and then go play ball.
Wow, that sounds like a dope upbringing, man. So you had a lot of sport. So you was always involved in sports, even before the whole thing happened.
My grandma got me in Pee Wee when I was 6. I was bigger than most kids. They started at 7, my grandma got me in there at 6 because I was a big kid. You know what I mean? And I started playing football first, and then by middle school, that's when ball kind of fell into my lap hard. Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? It was the Michael Jordan era.
Right.
And
he was at a prime during
right. That made you want every pair of sneakers. It made you want to go to the court and do every move you see on TV.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the type of house. And I grew up on N1 mixtapes and
you taking it back to the old days, man.
Smack DVDs. That's my era. That's probably one of the greatest eras there is. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan. We had Michael Jordan. We had Smack, and we had N1 mixtape. Come on.
That whole thing used to dominate. Like I remember when he used to have the video cassettes. It was moving heavy back then.
When y'all used to come up for the summer, when you come visit us in the summer, we had the N1 mixtapes. I used to make sure I had everyone as soon as it dropped. You know what I mean? Shout out to my one of my favorite Springfield DJs, Infrared DJ Scope. He used to have me with it first. Cause he had like the CD shop. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he used to make sure I had everything. That was my guy. To this day, he still come check me, bring me DVDs, CDs. Even though I don't even got to they still drop off all that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you yeah, so it seems like, no matter what, whether it's through music or just family, sports was always going to be something, whether or not you chose it. Now, who's the one that inspired you to get into sports?
Man, just not having nobody there, my pops and my middle school, I had a health teacher, Mr. Strader. I talked about him in the book.
Right.
He was a big influence on me in middle school. He was we had 8th grade basketball. I had came back, so we had an 8th grade league against all middle schools, and that was like huge that year. That's what actually got me seen, because that's when we was playing all the middle schools, and coaches actually came to watch, like high school coaches. If you had enough of a buzz, they'd come check you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was ringing bells, and I was like Magic Johnson was, and I was like that in middle school. I was playing point guard and center.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? That's the type of party it was. I was dunking at the end of 8th grade. Yeah, that's the type of time I was on.
So basically, like I guess you became the star of the basketball team in a way.
I built my stardom off of that. Playing ball, playing pickup. I used to kill at these open gyms, and every court, I used to ride my bike in the summer, 8th grade summer, to every court to see if I could win. Play against the older dudes. I never wanted to play against nobody my age. I always wanted to play up. And that's what really got me. I was on another level. You know what I mean? My thought process was different than a lot of people playing ball and football. I was on the football field looking like I'm crossing over. Like I was the Mike Vick of Springfield. No cap.
Yeah, man. No, that's extraordinary. Now, being that young and having all that talent, did you ever feel like the coaches put pressure on you to be at your peak?
Nah, I didn't. If I had a little more pressure put on me, that's what I needed. It needed more structure, more pressure. Maybe even like a prep school. If I would have got to go to prep school, I actually had got invited to Bridgeton Academy, but we went up there and it cost too much. My grandma couldn't pay for it at the time,
Right.
so I didn't get to go.
I see. Now, when did you notice that you had this immense talent for basketball and football? Because in the book, you talk about how you dominated in both sports. So when did you realize like, yo, I got that gift? Like it's there.
I was playing football in the winter. Then in the summer, I played AU basketball. And once I was playing out in different states and I was hanging with the like Atlanta Gold and Louisiana Gold and actually placing good in national championships with my team, when I stopped playing in Springfield and they invited me to Boston to play, that's when I knew I was different.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because Boston is elite. Boston is elite basketball and always has been. BABC, Boston Metro. You know what I mean? TJ had Tim Thomas players. And I mean, I'm playing against them and I'm balling and I'm playing against J.R. Smith. I'm playing against one of my best friends, former best friends, Jamal Warren. He went to Cincinnati. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
playing against top dudes and I'm right there with them. So I know when I go back home, I'm giving regular dudes hell back home in Springfield. I'm like, man, this is cake. It's a cakewalk. I'm playing in national tournaments. I'm playing in the Peach Fest, the Peach Jam Fest. You know what I mean? So when you go back to Springfield, it's like, oh man, let me get this work out. Let me get this work out freely.
Right.
Both sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's extraordinary right there to be able to play at your within your city, and then you go into another town and you went in here and there, and it's like, and they look at you like, yo, these grown men can't even do half of what this kid does, and
Word.
he's shooting, he's making points. I mean, he has a lot of tenacity. I was watching was it? I think it's The Last Dance, the documentary on ESPN.
Yeah.
And a lot of players, like, they would just they were jealous of Mike because it's like, yo, who does this kid think he is? Then when they saw him on the court, they realized, like, okay, all right, now we know
the hype was real, right?
Exactly. And this was a dude, he didn't go outside and party like everybody else. He'd rather just stay at home on a Saturday night, cook a meal, just relax, and then when it was time for him to practice, go out and play.
Go hard in practice because he wanted everybody to go hard as him.
Exactly.
Some people didn't. That's what people had wrong with him. He wasn't trying to chunk nobody or nothing, but he just wanted everybody to work as hard as him. And
exactly.
I took that mentality. Being a football player, we got to work hard. I mean, we won 3 championships back to back. Ain't been done like that out here in a while.
Back to back. Wow. That's hard for any team, you know what I mean? I mean, most of the time when you watch games and you look at some of these teams, you're wondering like, yo, these guys they haven't won a championship in like 10 years. And I think with the Bulls, of what I remember, until Michael Jordan came, like things really didn't improve until he got onto the court. And this is like probably 10 years after, because they didn't really have any, I guess, as they said, star players that really handled the ball. And then when Jordan came, that's when the championships with the Bulls started coming in, and it's like, yo, this guy really elevated us, because people used to talk badly about the Bulls back in like I believe it was the early 80s, and then around 84, 85, that's when things started to take a turn, with momentum.
Yeah, when Mike stepped on the scene, it was definitely that.
There was one thing that I came across, right? You were talking about how your father was incarcerated, right? Now, how did he shape the man that you you would later become? Like, what advice
Yeah,
did
that
you
just
give?
we kept in touch through the years. He was in there probably my whole. He was in there all my middle school years. He was out. Then my middle school, he was locked up for like 3 of those years. Then he was locked up for my whole. He never got to see me play a high school basketball game. You know what I mean? So it was like, but we kept in touch through letters and visits. So I felt like I'm still gonna show out for him because he can't be here to see me. So I'm gonna go extra hard because I know if I go off and get at least score 30, have 10 rebounds, 10 assists,
Right.
then I'm gonna make the top. I'm gonna make the news. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right. So if I make the news, I know I'm gonna be good. He gonna see me. He gonna be able to see me.
Now I know also during that time you hung out with a lot of guys that were involved in sports, or if not involved in sports, friends that you knew from the neighborhood. Um, how did they motivate you during that time?
Um, I hung out with a lot of the older dudes from my school, and then I hung out with everybody, man. I'm a people's person, man. If you was about ball and girls, we was hanging out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they helped me because we always was playing. We go from state to state and win. We're playing in all street ball tournaments. We played in a $10,000 tournament in Boston, but then we go to Connecticut and play in the Osgood. We won the Osgood back to back. That's how we motivated each other. We kept each other going. Even after school, we still kept playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was just self motivation.
So as long as you had like a couple of guys around you that had the same work ethic and were willing, like, yo, if he's doing it, we gonna do it. We all in together. I mean, you don't see that type of unity nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Right? It's different now. These kids they worshiping the wrong things, man. The negativity and the lean and the pills and all that hula, the drill music.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's different. I'm trying to preach to the kids that it's still, hopefully after this corona, hey, babe. It's about to die. Oh, we still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to be able to, I had just started talking to the youth. I did a couple book sales and I went to my high school and actually spoke to the kids.
Right.
And I gave out like 20 books. You know what I mean? Just to get my name out there to the younger crowd. A lot of they don't really know me. Like this era right here doesn't really know about me like that. Their parents knows me. You know what I mean? So they explain to them. But that's why I want to come and I want to talk to them. I want them to read my book because my book basically gives them a straight in-depth look at my life. So that's really I swear, that's what God brought me back for, man. To talk to the youth, try to, you know what I mean, change what's going on a little bit if I can.
Yeah, no, I think that's wonderful because, there's so many negative images on the internet and on television. And, we understand how powerful music can be, but we also understand the power of what a book can do, you know? So it's like, personally for me, I'm a person, I don't read that much, but if there's something that really interests me, I'll start reading. Like, I purchased a book about the development of Def Jam and how it came together. It probably took me about maybe a week and a half to read it, but it was
Word.
just so intriguing. You get to learn the ins and outs. I know sometimes we just think, okay, somebody comes out with a song. No, there's artist development, there's production, producers, a lot of people behind the scenes that help to
Word.
bring everything together. And we know that's the same way when it comes to a star athlete or player. You got family, friends, teachers, somebody that's building up that person and molding that person.
Word.
And coming to that, right? I know that you said that Springfield it's changed over time, but how did you avoid the pitfalls of drugs and, you know, other nefarious activity?
It's really trying to just stay on your, you know what I mean, stay on my D and just ball. I was just balling, getting. My grandma got me out of town a lot with the AAU. With the AAU, that's a big for the kids nowadays. That really keeps you away from, because you get to travel the world. You know what I mean? You ain't just stuck in your town where there's really nothing to do,
Right.
but maybe mingle with some drugs and, you know, because you're curious. And all these kids are curious. Can't stop the curiosity.
Right. And we understand sometimes when you don't have the right role models, you feel like, okay, it's just easy for me to get access to this type of life or this person, somebody that can connect me with this and that. But you know, you mentioned your grandmother early on about, you know, how she got you involved in sports when you were 6 years old. And you also mentioned the church as well. Now, how did your grandmother and the church play a role in your life? Like what was their importance?
That's all I did. Oh, I played for the church team.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry.
Nah, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
The church had a traveling team. We used to she kept me in there hard. Grandma's no joke. That she was very strict growing up. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
So, but the church actually knew me. They knew I was good, so they wanted me to play so we could win games.
Right.
And then we used to travel. We used to travel up and down from New York to Hartford to New Jersey. It used to be fun. It was actually a good time with the church. But that wasn't the only thing. My grandma made me go to church on Saturdays because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist too.
Right.
But then I actually started, when I was growing up, I actually realized, you know what I mean, started loving church and
Right.
going and actually being there, hanging out there. And when I got baptized, you know what I mean, then I knew, like, all right, this is my place. It was dope growing up.
Yeah, nah, that's dope right there. You know, I think one of the most important things that the church can do is build self-esteem. You know, when they see youth, instead of telling them like, yo, go sit down over here or you know, we're talking right now, embrace them, you know, let them know that they're valued and that they're important, you know. And if you know, growing up, your grandmother was very strict. We we know that off the bat already. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Anybody do
Like
anything wrong, the belt right
every, and you ain't even got to be hers.
there. Exactly.
Your family, you getting it. Everybody must get it. Word.
Yeah. So as I look at that dynamic, you know, I can understand why it's so popular with the town of Springfield, Massachusetts. And you know, I've watched a couple of the interviews that you did, also the tournaments that you have every year, as well as you know different events that you throw. So I feel like you know this is the perfect time that you know if there's a youth that's out there that's getting in trouble, you know, um, I believe that this would be a perfect time for them to watch this live right now. You know,
Yeah,
because
man.
I feel like at this time in this day and age, everybody needs a role model. You know,
That ain't no lie, man. Everybody need a role model. Or just somebody they can go to and vent with. I mean, just or a little help because it's a lot of kids with no father figure, no direction. And all they got is their boys. And hey, I understand that. And some of these dudes, you know what I mean? But we don't need to rely on the guns, and the violence is ridiculous right now, man. There's too many kids dying left and right and ain't even reaching 25 or 22 at that.
Exactly.
You know it's ridiculous when kids is getting killed on live, Facebook Live. Like, come on, man. Really, bro? That's unheard of, man. That's shit you see on, excuse my language, that you will see on the internet. Man. And
Exactly.
this happened locally. Come on, that blows my mind. This last couple months, this year, 2020, has been wild in Springfield. And I'm trying to at least have some stop the violence tournaments as soon as the corona opens up and we can have tournaments again. I want to do a little, because I feel like they need somebody to just show them, chill. We don't need to do that. We need to pick up a basketball. Grab a microphone. I know they all want to be rappers. We need to open up more studios so these kids got places to go express themselves instead of going to the violence, because they feel like that's all they got. They're gonna rap about it, then they're gonna go out and do it so they can rap about it and make it real.
Exactly.
It's
And
kind of
you
messed
see,
up, but man, it's for life right now. So we need to figure out something. And I'm ready. I'm ready to start a little committee with a couple of my boys, a couple of female friends that entrepreneurs and they want to get back to the community. We need to put some stuff together. I do got a couple of my boys. We were just talking about that. I'm getting my slogan and all that together. Hopefully we start writing my new book soon. And, just use my platform for better. That's all. For these kids.
exactly. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about, there was a principal. I'm not sure if it was in New Jersey, but basically he had set up a Friday night program from, I think, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Kids can come in, get a hot meal, wash their clothes, play sports, go record in the recording studio at the school, play basketball, various activities. And this is all coming out of his pocket. This is not something that the school put together. You see, most of the time we think that when we don't get an okay from an establishment or an educational system, that we can't do something. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. You know what I mean? To make things happen. Like a lot of people earlier this week were upset because their churches weren't expressing outrage
Give me my phone.
in the with this dude's death. With George Floyd's death. You understand what I'm saying?
Because Carlos.
But I personally feel like if you gotta wait on the churches, like you're gonna be waiting for a long time. Sometimes you gotta go and speak and be a voice. You know what I mean? Because it's like, personally with me, I feel like, I can't wait on nobody. If I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. When I'm gonna do it in a positive way, but I'm gonna make sure that
Affirmative action.
exactly. You know what I mean? And you got to do that, because I feel like, everybody's waiting on somebody else to make a statement. You got to make your statement now. Just like how right now doing this interview and giving back to the community, people are saying like, yo, you're putting this in effect. You're not waiting for anybody to be like, yo, all right, I want to do this. I need you to help me out here. No, like I've really seen it. I've been following it, and I'm so proud of you, because it's like you turned a tragedy into triumph. You didn't let it, for lack of a better word, you didn't let it, I guess, stifle you or your
Yeah, I
creativity.
know, because I know I know about 4 or 5 dudes my age that got hit up less than I did, and they ain't here. God rest their souls, but man, I got too much going on mentally to even shut down, because I know I can get back up as long as I keep trying, stay focused, get back in rehab. This corona stopped the rehab, so hopefully I can start my rehab back up this coming week. And that's my main focus right now, really. Doing another book and trying to stand back up.
Yeah, because we definitely want another book. We definitely need another book. Because I feel like so many people complain about not having this, having lack of that. Like, yo, I'm not working right now, but you have money
Here, tell
saved.
her to.
I can't get this. I can't get that. The way I look at life is this: is like, be happy for the things you have. Like, there's some people that when they wake up in the morning, they got to have somebody right by their side because they can't see, they're blind. There's some people that can't hear. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that's not even able to take a step outside their house. And
Gotta be blessed with your situation. Cause look,
exactly,
right, like you saying, look on the other hand, somebody could be doing way worse than you. I
exactly.
take it. I wake up every day and thank God for just letting me breathe and get up, and I'm conscious and I know what's going on around me. You know what I mean? I love that I'm good. I feel like I'm doing better than a lot of people walking. Not to sound ignorant or anything, I just feel like that. I'm doing good.
And I think that's doing part to your mentality. It's like, yo, you could be like, yo, I'm in this chair. I can't go down the block to get this, you know what I'm saying? Or you can look at it like, yo, all right, I'm here physically, but mentally, my mind is on another path. I'm elevated. Like I can't think about this. Like the things that I can change, change. What I can't, just leave it alone. Like we all have the power to make things better. You know what I mean? We all have the power to get out of certain situations. You know, a lot of people are unhappy right now. Um, you know, with the situations that they're in, and it doesn't mean that they can't change them, but there's just some individuals that feel like, yo, if things didn't go well for me in the past, it's not going to go well now. And the problem with that type of thinking is that you end up passing that on to other people, you know, and that negative energy begins to fuel, and it's kind of like, yo, now everybody's feeling the same thing or the same energy. You know what I mean? But but yeah, no, your story is definitely inspiring. You know what I mean? All right. I think something happened with his phone. You know, we're gonna stay on right now, and hopefully he'll call back in. But for those of you that are watching right now, I hope that you've taken the time to reevaluate your life and realize that things are not always bad as they seem. And even if you're in a situation that cannot be changed, you could change your outlook on it. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, hey, we all deal with things that we don't like. We're all struggling in some type of way. These things happen. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's your job to continue to soldier on and to continue to move. You know, don't let anybody or anything get the best of you. Keep on pushing. Keep on doing the things that you need to do in order to push through. You know what I mean? And that's like the most important thing when it comes to this life. You only have one life to live. You understand what I'm saying? And while you're here on this earth, you got to make sure that you make one hell of an impact, a powerful impact. There are people that are looking at you. There are people that need encouragement, you know. And the funny thing is that the people that we think are the strongest are usually the ones that are going through a lot. They don't speak on it. They don't talk about their struggles, you know. But we have to understand that everybody goes through things, you know. We all deal with things. But the most important thing that you can do is to uplift each other and learn to uplift yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself sometimes. You make mistakes, it happens. You can get back up again. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person in any way, you know. That's just that's just life. Things happen, things take place, you know, and all you can really do is like I'm sorry. I mean all you can really do when it comes to that is acknowledge that you made the mistake. How can you do things better second time around and just move forward? That's it. There's nothing else that you can really do. You understand what I'm saying? You can't cry over spilled milk. Things are going to happen regardless. The world keeps on spinning. You know, it would be a lie if I didn't say that I'm not pissed off about what's happening right now in this world with this whole coronavirus thing, and the fact that the race war started, and also police brutality against black men and women, you know, all of those things, they anger me. But the most important thing that I can do right now is I can speak out about it, because for years they have tried to silence us. It's in this day and age that we have the power to speak and be like, hey, that's not right. But I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. I really wanted it to be longer, but I want to thank our special guest, Mike Vaz, for coming on and just telling us a story. Hopefully we can get a part 2 in the future. And when his next book comes out, I'll definitely let you guys know. All right. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining us. You guys have a great night. Peace.